Good day, royal enthusiasts, and welcome back to Danish News Daily, your ultimate destination for Danish royal family drama. Today, we are diving into one of the most heartbreaking and contentious rifts in recent royal history, Prince Joachim's exile from Denmark and his explosive comments about why he and his family were essentially pushed out of their homeland. This is raw, this is emotional, and this is absolutely fascinating. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we are about to unpack years of family drama. Prince Joachim, King Frederik's younger brother, has never been one to bite his tongue, and recently he has been more candid than ever about the circumstances that led to his family relocating first to France and then to the United States. For those who have been following this saga, you will know it has been absolutely brutal. For those just joining us, strap in, because this is a masterclass in family dysfunction at the highest levels. The official story has always been that Joachim's moves were career opportunities, a chance for him to serve Denmark in diplomatic and military capacities abroad. But Joachim's own words paint a very different picture, one of forced exile and deep family betrayal. Let us go back to where this all really began, September 2022. Queen Margrethe, who was still on the throne at the time, made the shocking announcement that she was stripping the royal titles from Joachim's 4 children, Nikolai, Felix, Henrique, and Athena. The children would no longer be princes and princesses, but would instead be styled as counts and countesses. The stated reason was to slim down the monarchy and allow the children to live more normal lives. Sounds reasonable on paper, right? Except nobody asked Joachim or his children if this was what they wanted, and the way it was handled was absolutely catastrophic. Joachim gave a series of interviews immediately following the announcement, where he did not hold back. He said his children were hurt and in shock, that he was given just 5 days' notice before the public announcement, and that this was not the year's notice he had been promised. His ex-wife, Alexandra, also spoke out, saying her sons felt ostracized and that the decision had caused deep wounds in the family. It was unprecedented for Danish royals to speak so publicly and critically about internal family matters, but Joachim clearly felt he had been backed into a corner with no other option. The public largely sided with Joachim and his children, seeing the move as unnecessarily cruel and poorly handled. Queen Margrethe eventually issued a rare apology, admitting that the situation had been handled poorly and expressing sadness over how much it had affected the family. But the damage was done. The relationships were fractured, perhaps irreparably. Joachim has since revealed that the decision to strip the titles was not just about streamlining the monarchy. It was about money, about reducing the number of people receiving royal allowances, and about elevating Frederik's branch of the family at the expense of his own. In Joachim's view, his children were sacrificed to make Frederik's eventual reign look more modern and focused. Now, here is where it gets even more complicated. After the title-stripping debacle, Joachim was offered a position as defense attaché in the Danish embassy in Washington. On the surface, this looks like a prestigious posting, a chance to represent Denmark in one of the world's most important capitals. But Joachim has hinted strongly that this was not really an opportunity, so much as a convenient way to get him and his family out of Denmark. By accepting the posting, Joachim removed himself and his bruised family from the daily scrutiny of the Danish press and gave the palace some breathing room to move past the controversy. It was exile dressed up as a promotion. Joachim has spoken about how difficult it has been for his children to adapt to life abroad, to lose their titles, to feel rejected by the family and institution they were born into. His eldest son, Nikolai, had a budding modeling career in Denmark and was quite popular with the public. Felix was studying and building his own life. The younger children, Henrique and Athena, who Joachim shares with his current wife Marie, were even younger and had their entire sense of identity upended. Imagine being told you are a prince or princess one day, and then having that stripped away the next. The psychological impact must be enormous. What makes this situation particularly painful is the sibling dynamic between Frederik and Joachim. They have always had a complicated relationship, with Joachim living in the shadow of his older brother, who was destined to be king. There have been reports over the years of tension, of Joachim feeling overlooked and undervalued, of competing for their mother's attention and approval. The title-stripping incident brought all of that simmering resentment to the surface in the most public and damaging way possible. Joachim has been careful not to directly attack Frederik in his public comments, but the implication is clear. He believes his brother either orchestrated or at minimum supported the decision to diminish Joachim's children in order to strengthen his own family's position. Whether that is true or not, it is what Joachim believes, and that belief has poisoned the relationship between the two brothers. The Danish public remains deeply divided on this issue. Some people think Queen Margrethe made the right decision for the long-term health of the monarchy, even if it was executed poorly. Others think it was cruel and unnecessary, punishing innocent children for the sake of optics and finances. And still others think the whole thing exposes the fundamental absurdity of hereditary monarchy, where accidents of birth determine your entire life trajectory, and family squabbles play out on the national stage. Princess Marie, Joachim's wife, has also been remarkably candid about the situation. She has said that leaving Denmark was not their choice, that they felt they had no option but to accept the posting to Washington. She has spoken about the pain of watching her children struggle with the loss of their titles and the upheaval of moving countries. Marie has always been a straight shooter, and her willingness to speak openly about the family dysfunction has only endeared her to many Danes who appreciate her honesty and feel sympathy for what the family has endured. The saddest part of this entire saga is that it did not have to be this way. If the decision had been handled with more sensitivity, if Joachim and his children had been given proper notice and involved in the conversation, if there had been some attempt at family unity and support, perhaps the outcome would have been different. Instead, what we have is a fractured royal family, with Prince Joachim and his children living in exile, nursing wounds that may never fully heal. Thanks for watching Danish News Daily. We'll keep you updated on all developments in this ongoing family saga.